Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Whiteville, North Carolina, visiting Vann Underwood Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, and I'm checking out a 2020 Dodge Charger Widebody in the Scat Back Plus trim level. This Charger is sitting on 305/35 Pirelli all-season tires, wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels with a dark gray metallic finish. It also has a high-performance Brembo braking system with ventilated and slotted rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is TorRed, and luckily the sun is shining right now, so you can kind of get an idea of what the color looks like. So here in the front, it has an air dam that goes into the engine compartment, but not particularly into the engine. And here in the front, a lot of airflow. You can see it doesn't even have fog lights here at the bottom. It does have these places for airflow here, all through there, and just has like this elongated honeycomb pattern here in the center. Nice Scat Pack badging here in the grille. Now that's all flat black. All this grille portions are flat black. Now the headlights are in black bezels, but they're a gloss black. And the headlights are powered by halogen bulbs, which is a little surprising because the rest of the lighting on the vehicle is LEDs. Turn signals, daytime running lights are all LEDs. Now the headlights are in projector housings with they're two focusing, so it could go for high and low beams out of the same projector tube. But it is halogen powered. Looking at the profile, you can see everything's body colored. The side mirrors body colored, the handles, and also the fender flares, which makes it a wide body. So it has the wider tires and the fender flares matching up perfect there, which gives it that very distinct wide body look. Now it does have the HEMI 392 badging here on the side that pops out. But other than that, it's all body colored. Now it does have a flat black pillar here in the center. Now if that was a gloss black, I think that would help out a little bit, especially if you were to tint the glass. It would solidify that portion better, in my opinion. This is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key system, and designed to where you can just use this vehicle 100% just by having the key with you. And the Dodge has the key fob that can just remote start the vehicle very, very far away. It's really amazing. But you have the ability to lock and unlock, open up the trunk, and a panic button. Let's go ahead and push that panic button. And the trunk, we'll go ahead and double tap that. And it opens up all the way for you. That's nice. Now, as long as you have this key with you, it could be in your pocket, in a bag, as long as it's within a close proximity of the outside of either the driver or the passenger side door, you can push this button to lock the vehicle. To unlock it, you simply put your hand under the handle for a second. Now, it has a sensor under here, and it senses the key location on the outside of the door. And once you put your hand under, you will have to wait like a half a second or a second, and it will unlock the doors for you. And then you can have access to the vehicle. It also has a physical key location here on the driver's side only. So the front doors swing out really wide. So you can see it's not quite, but way out there, almost a 90-degree angle, but not quite. But this is really handy for, you know, getting in and out of the vehicle, but it's sometimes a little bit too wide. So typically you wouldn't open it up that wide. Something like that is what I would normally do, because if it's too far out, once you get in a position, you can't reach the door to close it. It's just that far away. But anyways, here's the inside of the door, and it has a lot of soft touch surfaces. This is all soft touch here, 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 and here, of course. This is enclosed, so you can use that as a pocket if you like. You have a little pocket there, and then you have a bottle holder, and then a storage pocket here as well. You have a speaker there at the bottom. The hard plastics are here at the bottom. The bottom part of the door is all hard plastics. The upper portion has some stitching here as well. You have a French design stitching here, and then you have these line stitching. So this is like a vinyl type material, and this is kind of like simulated leather texturing up here. This is like a vinyl. Just a regular old sill plate plastic one, nothing special. A little surprised about that. And then you have a power seat here on the passenger. It goes up, down, tilt, all that good stuff. It also has a 4-way lumbar adjustment as well. Now these are leather trim seats. You have Alcantara suede and leather, and then it has this cloth here on the edge where it meets the hard plastic because it's a little bit more supple, and it makes the seat last a little bit longer. You have these perforations in the suede portion, and you see that. Have a little embroidery of the Bumblebee, Scat Pack B. Looking pretty cool. Nice bolstered seats, but they don't hug your body too overly much. They're not squeezing you or anything, so they're very comfortable. Here's the legroom. Nice open space here. The chargers are really nice as far as just overall room. Soft touch dash. This is a hard touch where the glove compartment is. It is a locking glove compartment as well, and it's felt lined on the inside. Now it has a regular glove compartment down here, but then it has these shelves. So you have these shelves up here, here, and here. Flat, so you can put books, you know, or whatever. I mean, there's lots of room in here. A little tiny little bee right there. It's pretty cool. Looking at the back door, it doesn't swing quite as wide as the front door, and it doesn't have as much opening. So you have lots of opening right here, not so much here, and the door doesn't swing as wide. So you would think that the back door would swing a little bit more since you don't have that much room getting in, but it's not that bad. It's not like you're crammed or anything. Similar type features, soft touch up here. You have the stitching. Very, very similar as the front door, just smaller. Same thing with the seats. Now the seats, it's basically a bench seat, but it's bolstered to kind of simulate, you know, bucket seats. Then you have illuminated cup holders here in the armrest, here, and a little storage compartment that you can close up. And you can move it up out of the way if you like to have the center passenger, or just get out of your way. Now the seats are almost all the way back, so you still have a pretty good amount of leg room. And the back of the seats, they have this hard plastic, and then they have pockets on the back of both front seats, so you can put stuff there. These are 2-stage heated seats here in the back. There's the adjustments for those, and you have 2 USB charge ports as well, and a climate control vents. Of course, it has the latch system for car seats, or ISOFIX. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, it has a body-colored shark fin antenna right here. And the third brake light is at the top of the glass, powered by LEDs. And it has a matte black spoiler across the back, deck lid spoiler on the back of the trunk. It's looking pretty cool. Overlaps there on the sides quite a ways. LED taillights. 100% of the taillights are LEDs. And it has the Dodge emblem there with the gloss black. Very well integrated backup camera in the very center of the vehicle. It's in a high position and it's integrated. It's not like a tacked on type backup camera. There's parking sensors across the back. You have a little bumblebee badging there as well. You have some wheel well ventilation here. And true dual exhaust. It sounds really awesome. And I guess now would be a good time to show off the remote start. So we can hear it for a second here. So we just double tap that. Push it again, turn it off. Nice rumble. So opening up the trunk, you saw that I used the key to open it up. There's another way. There's a button right here. And it's surrounded by gloss black, so you want to be careful not to scratch it with holding keys or anything in your hand. You push that, and it just goes right up for you. Has a carpeted portion on the underside of the trunk. And same thing with the entire trunk, it's all carpeted, even on the top. Now you notice these arms extend down into this carpeted area, so they're not getting in your way as far as, like smashing your luggage or anything. They're completely enclosed when it goes into the trunk. It has two light sources. There's one on the right there and one on the left, so it helps avoid shadows. And you can see it's all carpeted under here. So when you're putting your stuff in, a lot of vehicles have all this exposed metal with wires hanging and all that stuff. This is all carpeted and covered up. You can of course fold the seats down to add to your cargo space when you need it. It's not completely flat. There is quite a bit of a tilt, but it helps out a whole lot when you're adding to your cargo space. Now it already has a massive trunk. I'm gonna leave all the specifications and size and everything in the description, but it is a big trunk overall. So lifting this up, this is where you'll find your battery, but you notice there's no spare tire. So there's a tire inflator kit. And so basically you can buy a full-size spare tire and put it back here, not in this space, but this is more storage space back here. But you can put it back here if you need to, because with the Brembo braking system, there's no donut that will fit over those big calipers. So you have to buy a full-size spare if you want one. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it's a capless design. You don't have to worry about removing a cap. You just put the pump in there, the nozzle, and pump your gas. It has a little LED approach light right here in the side mirror, but just above that, you see that triangle? That is your rear cross traffic alert and blind spot indicator that illuminates when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. As long as you have the key inside the vehicle, it could be in your pocket, in a bag. As long as it's inside the vehicle somewhere, cup holder, put your foot on the brake, hold it, and push this button to start it. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You notice the floor mat hooks in place in two places, keeping it square for you. You have a raised rubber aluminum pedals here and also a foot actuated parking brake and a footrest here on the left side. Now the footrest is pretty good size. It's not skimping on the size of the footrest. Let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch a little tiny bit to the right of center, right over here. Just reach in, move it to the left, and lift up. Doesn't require much effort to lift it up, and it goes the rest of the way by itself. There's the latch there. The underside of the hood is carpeted, has the padding there. This helps out with noise mostly. You can see where the airflow comes in. You have a seal across the front, seal across the back, helps out with the airflow. You also have an insulated firewall and a support beam right here. It's covered up with this plastic, but right here is a beam that connects both of the towers there, the suspension towers. So this is a 6.4 liter V8 engine paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And I'll have a tremendous amount of specs of everything on the vehicle in the description, linked in the description. Now the inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. You have your preset for your power seat here on the driver's side, and then your power door locks, power windows. The front two are automatic, one touch down, and these are also and one touch up as well. But let me stop it right there and show you that this is a laminated glass. You can see there's two pieces of glass with a acoustic material on the inside. This helps out with sound getting in the vehicle, basically. Side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust it with that little pad. Has a power seat on the driver's side, just like the passenger side. It has a 4-way lumbar adjustment as well. Here to the left of the steering column, you have a few buttons here. This is to release your trunk, and you have your dimmer switch for your interior gauges and also your ambient lighting in the vehicle. And then your headlights are controlled here, so it's automatic off, parking, and headlights on. Now the steering column has a powered telescoping and tilt steering column. I'm sitting in the driver's seat checking it out, and I have the seat all the way down and all the way back to give you an idea of what the potential leg room for somebody that's 6 feet tall. So I got plenty of knee room there, and I can almost lock my legs out. Not quite, but almost lock my legs out. So I have pretty good amount of leg room, I'd say. The steering wheel is leather wrapped, and it's heated as well. And it has this flat portion at the bottom with a smooth leather, and then you move into the perforated leather here, and then smooth again on the top. And it has good thickness. The thickness, and it gives a little bit, soft enough to where it's not digging into your bones or anything. It's a really nice, comfortable steering wheel. It's a little bit thicker here at the bottom. Has paddle shifters, so you can see there's the plus and minus here. And just below those is some buttons. If you're not familiar with the Dodge, they have these buttons on the back of the steering wheel. So you have an up and down and a center button. So the up and down on the right side is your volume for your radio. The center button cycles through your audio sources, so AM, FM, stuff like that. On the left side, the up and down is your tracks, your radio stations, depending on whatever you're playing. And then the center button cycles through your presets on your radio only. Here on the right side in the front is your cruise control. So you turn it on, set it with either one of these buttons. You can change the speeds, resume, and cancel. So it's pretty straightforward and easy to see and read. Here on the left side, you have your Bluetooth for your phone. Once you pair your phone, you'll be able to answer, hang up, and also it has a very advanced voice recognition. I'd say it's more advanced than a lot of the voice recognition systems in most brand vehicles. You can do a whole lot with that. So these buttons, the OK and these arrows, correspond with the screen between the gauges. We'll get to that in just a minute. Your turn signal and your windshield wiper controls are here on the left side. So check out the gauges. You have the red outlining each dial on the sides, and 180 mile per hour speedometer there on the right side, and then there's your RPMs there on the left side, the tachometer. But there in the center portion is a screen, and this gives you a lot of information, and it's customizable. So you can see right now it's showing the outside temperature, which way the vehicle's facing. You can customize those and change those. Let's say you want distance to empty, that kind of thing. You can change that information. You also have what gear you're in. You can customize that a little bit, your fuel gauge, and then your engine coolant temperature there. Nice big digital speedometer here in the center, which is nice. But let's say we want to change it around. These are the buttons I was talking about, the OK and the arrows. So now, if we want to go up and down, I'll show you, we'll go up and down. So you can see it's part of a menu system, okay? So starting right here, number 1 is speedometer. Go down 1 is vehicle info. Now in this one, you can scroll to the right and left and get more information. Temperatures, pressures, all kinds of information here. Even has your engine power and horsepower and pound-feet of torque. That's awesome. And it goes back to your tire pressure. Now I just want to mention, this is a good example. The sun is facing the front of the vehicle, so you notice that the front tires have a higher pressure, and a lot of manufacturers will not display the tire pressure until you get going. And part of the reason, I think, is because when you're sitting still and the sun's shining on one tire, not the other, it will increase the pressure in that tire, and then the tires in the shade will be lower. So it'll look weird when you get in and look at it. But once you start driving, they all kind of equalize, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why they don't display the tire pressure when you're just sitting there. So scrolling down again, this is the 3rd level, so we're below vehicle info. Now we have performance. So now we can get some information here. We have 0 to 60 timer. We have all these different timers here. Braking distance, G-forces, peak G-forces, and you can reset these, of course. Then it goes to your lap history, lap timer, top speed. So this vehicle has 5 miles on it, top speed of 42 miles per hour. So it has all these different timers and stuff right here. I really like the G-force sensor too. Scrolling down, this will be your fuel economy and your range. Now when you scroll to the right, it'll give you the same thing, except for it'll give you a current miles per gallon as you're driving. So if you don't want to have that, you can go back to the original, and you can reset it, of course. You can also reset them individually as well. Same thing here with the trips. So trip A, trip B, you have your distance traveled, average miles per gallon, and a timer, and you can reset these independently. Scrolling down again just shows what your radio is doing. Any stored messages will show up here. You can go in and set up the screen, so we can go ahead and push that. So let's say we want to change this right here. See, it illuminates red now, upper left. We change that. Let's go ahead and change that to range. So now we have that. We can set up a speed warning if we would like. Diagnostics, you can read the codes here, and then it goes back to your speedometer. So so you can see it's a full menu system, and you know all that information is there if you want it, but you don't have to. You could just leave it on the speedometer. That's what I would do. Set it up one time, and then you're good to go. Okay, so here's your UConnect touchscreen system, and really handy, and the screens have just getting better and better every year. So we have these icons at the bottom. If you're not familiar with the UConnect system, they're very easy to use. They have quick icons across the bottom, and you can choose what you want. So right now we're on the radio screen. We can choose AM, FM, satellite radio. We can also have different audio sources like Bluetooth, auxiliary cable, and then 2 USBs. It also has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capable as well. So that's your radio. Climate control is your next icon, so you can adjust your climate control. And so your driver and passenger is independent. You can sync those if you'd like. change where you want the air to flow, recirculate the air, front and rear defrosters, all that stuff. You can even control the fan speed. And you notice this button right here, controls. The next one is actually controls, but this is like a little shortcut if we want to go into this next one here and adjust the heated and ventilated seats. You also have the heated steering wheel controls here, and your dimmer mirror as well. You can turn that on or off here in these settings. And then you can push this button and go into your settings, but I'll save that for last. But this is just a shortcut to go there. All right, next one here, we already saw the controls because that was the shortcut before. And then this is the apps. And the apps are pretty cool. There's lots of stuff going on here. So you have the SRT dashboard, SRT mode. You have travel link. Let's just kind of quickly go through here so we can see the different drive modes, performance pages, which takes a second to load up. And the screen's faster. In the 2020 models, it seem like they're a little bit faster than prior years. Even though it does have a loading time, it just seems just a little bit faster. So you have different gauges here. This is pretty cool. You can also take screenshots and save it on a USB drive. Lots of cool stuff going on here. Your different drive modes, you can adjust those as well. You have race options, launch control, a shift light, line lock. This is mostly, the line lock and stuff is mostly for racing and stuff like that, but really awesome stuff here. All right, let's go back to the apps here. SRT mode. So this is where you can adjust your paddle shifters. You can have those on, or you can turn them off. You can adjust your sport, your steering. So you can have it to sport, but you can customize everything right here. So sport will be stiffer, and then it has a comfort and the normal. You can customize everything. You have automatic. So you can see there's a lot of stuff here. This basically goes back to the screen we saw before. But let's say we want to have, we want to change one of these here. So let's say we want to have travel link and we want to put it down here. We can just press and hold it and drag it down here and replace the phone if we want. So it's really easy to customize the bottom buttons there. Next one is your navigation. So you can put in a particular address, you can view the map, you can zoom in and out by pinching and all that stuff, just like your cell phone. You can save stuff as well, your home address, your work, put in particular addresses, and it'll narrow it down for you as you type it. Also, you can go in your nav settings and avoid tolls or whatever you want to do there. Travel link, I already put this down here, but this is actually pretty cool because you can search for gas stations. You can actually sort it by price if you wanted to, or brand or whatever. Check the weather and all kinds of cool stuff here on the travel link. And then the last but not least is your settings. So one of the things that I do on the settings is I turn off the beeping when you remote start it and beeping when you lock it, that kind of stuff. You can also set how long the lights stay on when you leave the vehicle, that kind of stuff. That's something you want to go ahead and play around with and set it all up before you start driving. Just when you first get the vehicle, and then most of it you don't have to worry about it. But that's kind of a quick run through of the touchscreen radio. There's a lot of stuff in there, but anyways, I think you get a general idea of what it's all about. Physical volume, tune through the stations, and here's some redundancy as far as buttons here for your climate control, fan speed, temperatures, and all that stuff. And then you have your launch control, your parking sensors off. So that's the off light. So when you push that button there, that means they're off. So I actually tell you up here that they're off. So on, off. Same thing with the traction control, off. When you push that, it will turn it off. Default will be on. You can go in your drive modes right here. When you push this, it'll pop this up. We saw that before, so we can you know, change whatever we want, sport mode or whatever. Mute the radio screen off. If we just want the screen off, we could do that. So there's a 12-volt power supply that has a key on it showing you that it turns on and off with the ignition, and it's also backlit illuminated, so you should be able to find it fairly easy in the dark. Little storage compartment there as well. And this is a rubberized bottom floor here, so you can take this out, clean it, put it back in, which is nice. Same thing here. And actually there's a little trap door. You take that out, and that way you can access a little strap under that little door and pull it to put the vehicle in park if you need to tow it for whatever reason. So that's kind of a little fun fact. Okay, so here's the shifter, and it's a kind of like a ratchet shifter in a way. Nice and comfortable. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse. When we put it in reverse, the backup camera pops up, and the parking sensors pop up here. So they're both activated. Also, your rear cross traffic alert, if you have that turned on, will also be activated. So that's 3 things. Now the backup camera has active guidelines. The resolution isn't all that great compared to some other vehicles, but the clarity's good. The saturation on the colors is high. Kind of helps you out with seeing around. But the view is perfect. It's in the very center of the vehicle, and it's from the bumper to the sky all around. So it's a really good backup camera in general. Just the resolution looks a little low relative to the rest of the menus here. Alright, there's neutral, drive. That's your normal drive position. It'll cycle through the 8 gear ratios automatically. If you want to manually do it, you can, at this point right now, you can use the paddle shifters. You just start pushing them. And if you want to go back in the drive, you just press and hold the plus, and it'll go back into your normal drive mode. But if you want to use it like a ratchet shifter, you can move it over here to the left. Now it's in manual mode, and you can downshift or upshift by bumping it like a ratchet shifter. And you can see what gear you're in right here while you're driving. And at any time, you can always just bump it back to the right to go back into the normal automatic drive mode. Alright, so this is rubbery, so you can put stuff there and it's not going to slide around, like if you want to put your cell phone there or whatever. This opens up, and you have illuminated cup holders, a little space to put cell phone or whatever here, and it's open here. It's pretty functional. That closes up. Okay, so this is your armrest. It's very soft to the touch, nice and big. You can possibly share it with your passenger if you're really generous. But it's nice and soft. I don't feel any bottoming out whatsoever. And then this lifts up. And then you have some storage compartments here. So you have this little tray, which you can take this out. It's a little tray right here. Place to put some change for tolls or whatever. And you have 2 USB ports, an auxiliary input there. This is all felt line, this compartment. And there is a 12-volt power supply that's backlit illuminated here. And you notice it has a battery on it because this power supply is directly connected to the battery. Even when the vehicle's off, you can still use this. So if you need to charge your phone while you're going in the store or whatever, you could do that. And wires go in and out of the compartment right here. So when you close this, there's still a little gap right in there. So it's an auto dim rear view mirror, and we saw on the settings how we can turn that off if we want. Roadside assistance and emergency assistance. This vehicle has its own cellular connection, so it can, you know, get help if you need it. So that's good. There's a place to put your shades, and it has like this foam protection on the inside. It's pretty soft. So you have some tap lights, regular lights. So this is more of a spot, that's more of a flood. Same thing on this passenger side. HomeLink garage door opener controls here. And when the headlights or when it's dark and you have the headlights on, there's a little ambient light that shines and illuminates the center portion of the vehicle right in here, which is nice. This is for your sunroof. We'll get to that in just a second. The visor has mirror and lights. A little extension here. like so, but it also has this extension. So it slides out, this slides out, all that. It has a little clip here. And this is a cloth type material, same thing with the headliner. Okay, so the sunroof has a shade that blocks 100% of the light. So we can open that up, we can vent it, and we can move it back. As far back as it goes. Okay, looking at the visibility in the back, it does have these pillars back there and headrests in the back, but overall, I'd say the visibility is pretty darn good. A lot better than the Challenger, that's for sure. Now it has the backup camera, parking sensors, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot detection system. A lot of technology to help you out with that anyways, but yeah. Now, lots of things to go over here on the window sticker. So, and I'll have all this in the description below, but so you can see it has there's the base price, then you have the basics of your engine and stuff like that, transmission, standard equipment, interior features. Now here's the optional equipment. You notice this is a $6,000 ad, this Scat Pack wide body. So you have your Brembos there, and it continues up to over here, and then your Plus group, which is a separate deal, so that's $2,000, and then your navigation and travel group, $1,000, power sunroof, $1,300, red brake calipers, $600. So I assume that you can get not red calipers, you can get black Brembos. I'm not sure, but $600 for red ones, it's a pretty good amount of money. From what I understand, you can also get red seat belts too, but it's not on this one. Shows your fuel economy numbers, safety ratings, and there's where it's made. A variety of different places there, but North America it looks like for the most part. Alrighty, thank you for watching, and thank you to Vann, Underwood, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram here in Whiteville, North Carolina, and I'll see you guys next time.
transmitting from the year 1999. You are receiving this broadcast in order to alter the events you are seeing. Our technology has not developed a transmitter strong enough to reach your conscious state of awareness. But this is not a dream. You are seeing what is actually occurring for the purpose of causality violation. This broadcast will be received by perceptual centers as a dream. But this is not a dream. It's not a dream.